Christopher Franke we knew from Tangerine Dream. And the question became whether or not Christopher could do the kind of music that particularly Joe wanted, which was big and full.
I wanted Babylon 5 to have a sense of scope and of scale. And his music is emblematic of that. It is unabashedly dramatic, unabashedly operatic, and it elevates the scenes that it appears in.
The primary function of music scores and movies is to enhance the emotional level of acting. They should rather feel the music than hear the music.
There's a lot of stuff that Chris was able to go into orchestrally that began to sound like sound effects. No! That really gave a whole different texture to the audio support of the show.
He is not averse to using not just symphonic score, but found music, noises, metal hitting metal.
For me, science fiction shows are much more interesting because typically I like to innovate when I write music. So that's really my home, to do a cross between sound effects, unusual instruments, and the classic orchestra.
Christopher gives you an incredibly rich music score to support anything.
In Babylon 5, you have a fantastic setting, you have amazing action, innovative designs, but in the end it's about people, it's about the choices, it's about the consequences of the choices, and that factor really helps a composer finding the rightness factor. Is that melody really working, or is it just wallpaper?
Chris decided to take the music and turn each scene into opera, to work with the scene, and to push the dramatic elements of that even further.
The chemistry between Joe and John Copeland and Christopher was always there.
Chris is good at what he does. Get people you trust, hire him, let him go.
Joe and John gave me creative freedom from the get-go.
Very often I will let Christopher come up with his own motif for that, because often he's better at figuring out what that is than I am. Often I would say to him, you know, Chris, break my heart. Just go ahead and just break my heart. And he always was able to do that.
For each and every show, I have like a 2-hour creative meeting with the producers. We decide when music starts, when it stops, where it really has to play against a certain scene. So after the creative meeting, I'm going to my studio and I'm starting always with the melodic content. And then around the melodic content, I do all the ambient and transitions. Then I decide which tracks have to be produced electronically and which tracks have to be recorded acoustically. The acoustic tracks I will email to my scoring stage in Berlin.
And he directed the Berlin Symphony Orchestra from his studio in Hollywood Hills.
They come into the studio, pick up their scores, sit down at their chairs, turn on the TV set, and there's Chris.
I never conducted really the full orchestra at once. I always conducted like maximum 24 people, which is quite possible to do it that way.
Chris not only wrote the music, but orchestrated it, directed it, and mixed it all together and did whatever else that he needed to do to add to what the Berlin Symphony Orchestra did.
It may be the first time that a television series has had a full score for every single episode.
I've seen shows where music has been recycled, and some show it might even work. In Babylon 5, it definitely does not work.
There was very little in the way of canned stuff ever used in the course of the show.
In every Babylon 5 episode on average, we have 50% music. So the average is about 25 minutes of original music per show.
Christopher is an interesting person to work with in that he is completely flat affect. You say to him, Chris, I need this huge, monstrous score over here, just big, big, big. Yes, I will do this. You know. And walk away and come back with this incredible composition.
Maybe it's the German in Christopher, but if he tells you he's going to deliver on a certain date, he will deliver it on a certain date.
I love the deadlines. Without deadlines, I would be lost. When something really melts together on picture and sound becomes like one unity, then I know I'm done.
Chris is one of these indomitably cheerful, nothing is a problem kind of people.
This is another indication of the kind of guy that Christopher is. He is quite remarkable.
Chris, like many artists, does what he enjoys doing, and he will go to the wall if he enjoys it a lot. The sheer volume of soundtracks that came out afterward is some testament to the fact that he really did go to the wall for this show.